Hi, this is Jennifer Fisher with Exertis Almo. I'm an LG B2B business development manager, and I'm here with Pat Booth, my teammate, who is a business development manager for Legrand-AV. And we are here today to talk about some considerations with DvLED walls that have nothing to do with the DvLED wall itself, but more of its structural components and mounting systems. So, Pat, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come in and chat for a minute here. Again, with Legrand-AV, we have 9 different brands that I represent here at Exertis Almo, and the main one I think we'll talk about today is Chief, obviously, because if we're talking about DirectView LED, Chief has a great universal tiled DirectView LED mount that is great for a lot of different applications, and it also can be used with LG.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been something that I've been digging into the DvLED opportunities that are coming through for LG. And a lot of the discussion is about the wall itself, obviously. There's so many different configurable options. But the big question comes up is about structural and mounting and some of the other elements that are included or should be considered when looking at a DvLED installation. So my first question out to you, Pat, is why can we not install in just sheetrock?
Well, if you want the DirectView LED wall to be like an artistic installation of what a collapsed DirectView LED wall would look like, then you can go right into sheetrock. But when DirectView LED was, I remember somebody saying to me at Infocom many years ago when DirectView LED first kind of came into prominence, where it really started to gain some traction. They said, you're not in the AV business anymore, you're in the construction business, because you really have to, I think planning and everything you do before you actually install is just as vital, if not more vital than the actual installation itself. So got to make sure you have a site survey done by someone who knows what they're talking about, who can see if you're dealing with just sheetrock, because obviously that would not be a very good solution. You want to connect with all the partners that are involved in it. So your installer needs to communicate with your salesperson. Also, the display company, the mount company. If you have content, the media player companies, you want to make sure everyone knows what's going on with the installation. Identify some of those key dates and set a good timeline for yourself. You want to be realistic and have regular meetings so all the involved parties can get in, can talk, can discuss where they are, because it may be a manufacturing issue. You might be waiting for panels to come in. So you want to make sure everyone's on the same page in there. And right. With that, you talked about the sheetrock. So you got to ensure that the structural stability of your structure, substructure of that display is going to be safe and secure.
And along with the mounting points for the mounts.
Correct.
The anchor points for the mounts, yes.
You want to make sure you have confirm your weight tolerances, consider traffic around. Any ADA compliance, if that is something you want to make sure that is going to be considered, and consider accessibility for service and maintenance post-sale. So you want to make sure that you're building a structure that the integrator is going to be able to go back to and easily gain access to get behind that wall so that they can service those panels if they need to.
Yeah, recently I had a customer that was looking at a car dealership, and they wanted to put 2 kind of smaller portrait DvLED walls in the showroom, and their design showed a very slim design right up to the wall that was ADA compliant. But once we got on the phone with the customer, there was a conference room behind where these panels would be installed, and once we started talking about adding 3/4-inch plywood, plus a mount that could accommodate the Z adjustment, which we'll discuss here in a second, was an additional 3.5 inches, and then the depth of the panel. And they hadn't even considered that, had to go back to the drawing board to figure out how do they want this to look when it's completely installed, but with the structural elements that were required.
Right.
Or recommended.
You brought up plywood. The team at Chief recommends grade A plywood, sometimes called furniture grade plywood, for all on-wall applications and other vertical applications if possible. So,
and that's because most of the time, from what I've heard anyway, from all the engineers I work with, is that no wall is completely flat. And there are some DvLED solutions where that's not as much of a consideration, like with the LG all-in-ones, which are a simple 2-cabinet design for 136 or 163. They have a simple mount, they lock together, and they're stabilized enough with those size of cabinets that it's not as big of an issue. But when you start breaking out into multiple cabinets and you need them to all be flat, especially in the chip on board side, you really need that adjustment. And there.
Yeah, it's very, very important because and I think we're going to start talking a little bit about like some of your post install adjustments. And I think that's the thing that sets Chief apart from a lot of, and this is not a knock on the manufacturer, right? It's not a knock on the display manufacturers. Their primary business is making displays. That's what they do. They do a fantastic job of it, but they're not in the business of machining and tooling mounts that can be installed easily, that can be serviced easily, that have all those things in mind for the installer. They're really just trying to put a product so they can have an all-in-one solution out there. But with Chief, what they're really trying to do is have the installer in mind. I mean, when you talk about what they did in the flat panel world with, post-install leveling and measurements and adjustments that you can do, the micro adjustments, it's something that they were really kind of leading the charge in that. It's the same with this. They really want to make it so that when you do get it up on the wall, you do have the ability to do some good micro adjustments. So with the tiled universal, you've got 5/8 of an inch of total lateral adjustment. So left and right is your x-axis. You have up to 2 inches of height adjustment, which is your y-axis.
Wow.
And then 7/8 of an inch total depth adjustment, which is your z-axis. So if you really need to get that as flat as a mirror and make it look like it's showroom ready, you do need to have those post-install adjustments available to you.
That's one of the issues we have with LG, and it's not that they don't put out a good mount. It's a very thin mount. It's an 8mm mount, but it has hardly any Z adjustment to it. So if you're looking at a really large wall, or you're looking at a chip on board, like a 4K magnet or something, and it has to have that glass finish front on it, it needs to be adjusted very minutely, and it needs to stay. Like you were saying earlier, that we've all walked into installation points and panels are not lined up correctly, and you're just like, ugh.
The one thing Chief does, they do very well, is they talk to dealers, they talk to integrators, they talk to installers, and they've run into a ton of these DvLED projects where installers and partners have called Chief in afterwards because they've been on site for too many hours struggling with these mounting solutions with limited adjustments and features. They just can't get things aligned anywhere near as well as they can with Chief. So.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And the other one I might want to bring up too, where I've seen a lot of third-party requirements for mounts, has been with curved walls. A lot of people will send me a drawing and say, hey, I want this curved wall. Well, wait a second here. Depending on the radius, you may need, a completely different cabinet with miter cuts or what have you. But if it's a curved wall, miter cut or not, you're going to have a mounting solution that can create the desired curved effect that the customer's looking for. And that's a lot harder, or a lot easier said than done, from what I understand. A lot of them are floor mounted or they're ceiling mounted. There's a lot of drawing and design that needs to go into some of those types of mounts.
And actually, drawing and design, great segue. As you know, we do have a lot of times you'll find some of your smaller integrators or integrators that don't do as many of these larger scale jobs are probably afraid to go out and bid on some of these opportunities. But at Exertis Almo, we have a phenomenal services team that can do things from simple design. They do CAD design. They really can help kind of totally enlarge the scope of the projects that you take on, because we have a nationwide team of installers that can come in. They can wear, they can wear John's AV polo shirts and go in and represent John's AV and do these fantastic installations that, John might not have had the opportunity to do before because he just doesn't have the manpower and the resources available to do that. But it makes him a bigger player in that space. So something that we have that I think a lot of the other people in distribution don't have those kind of solutions out there for you.
I agree. And I also wanted to mention here that LG, our installation team, Exertis Almo's installation team, has all been out to Chicago to LG's headquarters for B2B and have been certified on DvLED installation. So that would be a great partnership between Legrand and LG for installation. And our install team also offers CAD design services that may be of interest, because I know a lot of custom walls, curved walls, that sort of thing. There's a lot of design that needs to go into that, especially working at times with LG engineers for anything custom or curved or 4K, that sort of thing. They take the time to do those drawings. They're required. And our install team has called me and asked me for those so that they can complete quotes. So it's a great segue into, here at Exertis Almo, we continue on with a total solution here. It's not only the DvLED, which we have about 10 brands here, but the mounting solution, the installation, the CAD drawings. And then, of course, our bosses would say, you forgot the audio, but that's a whole other conversation. So we're happy to help with all of that and get the ball rolling. I'm with LG. We offer 2K, 4K, 8K, custom, transparent, marine grade, all kinds of DvLEDs. So feel free to give me a call on those, or Pat would be happy to take calls on questions with Legrand mounting solutions, and we'd be happy to work together to help you out.
Yeah, just one more word on the Chief Tiled Universal. We really brought them out at InfoComm. Compatible with 90% of interlocking direct view LED panels from leading manufacturers, and it's new technology. The new hardware, it streamlines the whole process: speccing, ordering, stocking, installation, and it's one set of part numbers that can be ordered and stocked anywhere globally to fulfill just a variety of different direct view installation needs.
Yeah, and I do want to segue into that. I know that Legrand has a configurator tool on there, but not every cabinet is made equal between manufacturers or even within manufacturers. So your Visa
definitely want to run it through the Mount Finder tool on Legrand-AV.com. Go under Tools, Mounts, Mount Finder. You can select Direct View LED, manufacturer, and panel number, and it will spit out all the compatible mounts that you have for it. So
perfect. Yeah, it would be a horrible thing to buy all of this equipment, get out on site, and you don't have your spacer kit.
Right, exactly.
and then we get a call with an emergency, so which we will help handle, but we don't want that to happen.
Thank you so much for having me on to talk today. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Pat, and give us a call if we can help you out on your next DvLED project.